says in Surah An-Nur in the Quran, verse number 30 and 31, say to the believing men that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. That will make for greater purity for them. And Allah is well known with all what they do. So this is a command inside the Quran from Allah Azza wa Jal that Muslim men and Muslim women, they should guard their modesty. And in another verse it says, and say to the believing men that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. That they should not display their beauty and ornaments except what appear thereof. Meaning this was for the women, that the women should not show off their beauty to other people. And then it says, and they should draw their veils over their bosoms and not display their beauty except to their mahram. And in another verse it says, and that they should not strike their feet in order to draw attention to their hidden ornaments. Now this, imagine that Islam, alhamdulillah, does not even want women to go out on the streets without covering themselves. Lekin aaj hum kya dekh rahe? What do we see in our society today? Those who do try to cover themselves, they are bombarded with so many abusive words, backwards, ye Taliban hai, ye hai, wo hai. Meaning you are trying to hurt the feeling of that person. Especially if it's an Islamic sister who wants to dress up like a modest woman, like a woman in Islam. Lekin aaj hamara muashara, our environment, it doesn't like that. We don't like these kind of women. We say they're too extreme. If we think that is too extreme, then who is giving the command? It is not the command of any person, this is the command of Allah, that women should cover themselves and not show their beauty to anyone. In Surah Al-Mu'min, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, whoever guards their modesty, these are the inheritors who will inherit paradise and they will live there forever, for eternity. So those people who guard their modesty, who are bahaya, who have shame inside them, these are the people who will inherit paradise. Today we think, are we going to go to paradise? Then according to this verse of the Quran, think to yourself. If you have shame, if you have modesty inside yourself, then yes, you will go to paradise. Because shame, haya, is that character inside yourself which is going to stop you from committing sins. And my dear Islam brothers, there was a young man. Look at from this story we can see that our predecessors, our awliya kiram, how much haya they had, how much modesty these people had, and for that they could go to any length they wanted. One buzurg, was a young boy, he was very, very shy. And one day his dad, he went up to him and he said that, why are you too shy? Why do you talk? Why do you mix in with people? Why are you always sat in a corner and you don't talk to anyone, you don't mix with people? And one of his friends, he gave him an idea that let him go to the market. Let him go to the market so that he can go and then he can interact with people, he meets different people, and then slowly he will come out of that. He will mix in with people. So his dad, he made him work in a cloth shop. So this young boy would go to the shop, and one day he had a customer, an old woman. And this old woman, she said that I want to choose some clothes, but I am going to pay you. But I want someone to come with me so that they can take these clothes and I can show them to my Malika, my mistress, whoever she is. I want to show it to her so that whatever clothes she chooses, I can pay this guy. So the owner of the shop, he sends that young boy, go with him, with this woman, and whatever she chooses, this is the amount you need to bring back. So this young lad, he starts walking in front of the woman because he's haya, he doesn't want to walk behind, he's walking in front. And now he enters a very big palace. He walks inside, and as soon as he walks inside the room, he sees a very big stage, and he sees a very beautiful young looking woman sat on that stage. And this young woman, as soon as she sees this beautiful young boy, she falls in love with her. And she wanted to commit sin. She wanted to commit zina. So she's she's telling her, whatever I say to you, you must listen to me. If you don't, then I'm going to shout, I'm going to get people together, that young lad, he thought to himself, I've got no other option, what shall I do? So one thing came into his mind. He goes, whatever happens, I'm not going to commit this sin. I'm not going to do it. So he said to her, I want to go to the toilet. And he goes, I want to go to the toilet on top of the roof. And they had a toilet on top of the roof. And that woman, she sent a few other guards and she said, go and take him to the toilet and bring him straight back here. So this young boy, he goes to the toilet and on top of the roof, he's right on top of the roof. And he thinks to himself, and he's in a dilemma, that if I do not escape from here, then I will be made to commit a sin, even though at that time it's not his fault. Shariat doesn't allow him. Shariat wouldn't punish him because it's not his fault. He's under pressure. But at this time, that haya which is burning inside his heart, that modesty which he has inside him, that modesty keeps on telling him, do whatever you want, but do not go back down again. So this young man, he thinks of an idea. He says to himself that the only chance I have is to jump off the roof. That is the only way I can escape. And that is exactly what he did. He jumped off the roof, and at that time, Allah Azza wa Jal, He sends Sayyidina Jibreel Amin alayhi salatu wa salam, who grabs hold of him and he puts him onto the ground safely. If you have that willingness to stay away from sins, then you can't do it. But the thing is, we are overwhelmed with so many things, and then our haya might not be so strong to keep us away from these sins. Now, there are a few factors, there are a few things which in today's society are destroying the haya of young men and women in our society. And the number one thing is the mobile phone. Mobile phones, many brothers and sisters, they start their relationship with a mobile phone. Brothers and unfortunately sisters who are single or even married start sending each other text messages. Shaitan tells them. At that time the shaitan is working. And the shaitan, he tells them, it's okay. You are not talking to them. You're only sending text messages. You can't see them. There is nothing wrong. And that is the shaitan's first strike. Even though you might be doing them for something good. You might be giving them neki ki da'wah. You might be inviting them to go to the Islamic Sisters Ijtima. But because she is a non-mahram, you are not supposed to. That is the first shaitan's first strike. And if your haya, your iman is strong, then that iman will find the shaitan, and the iman will say that no, don't do that. But because our iman, if it's weak, then the shaitan, he kicks in, he starts, he manipulates your mind, he starts whispering inside you. You're only given a da'wah to go to the ijtima. You're not talking to her, you're not seeing her, you're only sending text messages. And then what happens? After a while, the shaitan, he will say, what's wrong if you talk with him or with her? It's on the phone. You are not seeing her. And the phone is acting as a parda. The shaitan, he's whispering these things inside your mind. You can't see that girl. She can't see you. So this is just a phone. So what if you're talking to her? That phone is acting as a parda between you and her. So go ahead. It's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. That is the shaitan's second strike. So what does the shaitan? He does first? He makes you text messages. We got loads of free text messages in our phones. So what people do is you start sending text messages. And then second thing is that the shaitan, he will whisper and he will say, so what if you talk to her? And then text messages, and then we start sending picture messages. And what I'm saying is what is happening today. It's not that this could happen, this is happening a lot. And you might be surprised how common these things are getting. They hide themselves under covers. Sometimes they're locked up in their rooms, and I've seen that. And I've seen people have been called by parents that, our son, he's totally changed. He used to be a lively boy, he used to come home, he used to sit with the family, and now as soon as he comes back from school, he's straight up in his room. What happens in that room? You might be hiding yourself, you're sending these text messages, you're talking to her on the phone, but then again what I'm telling you, my dear Islam, I'm not saying to you that you are talking wrong. I'm talking about the other side, the Islamic side of the things. That you are giving her da'wah, you are making her zen, that she should become namazi, she should start going to the ijtimas, she should learn how to read the Quran, but you're talking good. But that is all the acts of the shaitan as well.